I suddenly perceived the unspoken thoughts of my dear friend. She had bound herself to a villainous system, while I, unwittingly, was the female antagonist she had handpicked. At that moment, she was inciting me to confess my feelings to a delinquent from a vocational school. Ching Ching, although his academic performance is lacking, he possesses a kind heart. If you were to be with him, he would surely take good care of you, she proclaimed. Yet, I could hear her inner voice whispering, "Do engage with this violent, deranged individual that way, he will cease to harass me." Under her expectant gaze, I addressed the delinquent. "Oh, so you are the one my friend has taken a liking to." Had it not been for the serendipitous revelation of her thoughts, I might have remained oblivious to the truth. I was the protagonist of this narrative, while she was merely a supporting character. However, the supporting character was loath to remain in the shadows. She sought to undermine me by any means necessary, aiming to usurp my destiny as the heroine. During this time, she urged me to rebel against our teachers, to harbor animosity towards my classmates, and to recklessly flunk my courses. Unbeknownst to me, she began to supplant me in numerous aspects of my life. Having tasted the fruits of her machinations, she even dragged me today to confess my feelings to the notorious brawler from vocational school. Su Jiaojiao had envisioned such a fate for me. May Qingqing be humiliated and photographed, her images shared online, leading to a steep decline in her studies, ultimately resulting in her withdrawal from school in shame and anger. Qingqing, have you forgotten what the novel states? The more ill-tempered the campus tyrant appears, the more devoted he is. If you win his heart, you shall surely find eternal happiness, she whispered into my ear. I gazed at the young man, adorned with an array of earrings, sauntering with a nonchalant gait, and felt a wave of darkness wash over me. Indeed, he may struggle academically, but he possesses a tender heart. If you were to be with him, he would undoubtedly care for you, she reiterated. Upon finishing her exuberant declaration, Su Jiaojiao raised her hand enthusiastically. Hey, Gao Peng, over here. My friend has something to say to you. The boy named Gao Peng cast a disinterested glance my way, retrieving a cigarette from his pocket, lighting it as he approached. As he stood before me, a plume of smoke enveloped my face. You certainly are not lacking in looks. Now what do you want? My friend gave me a firm push. Go on. Meeting her hopeful gaze, I proclaimed loudly. Oh, so you are the one my friend has a crush on. 2. At that moment, the world fell into silence. Gao Peng was momentarily taken aback, but then he looked at Su Jiaojiao with delight. Su Jiaojiao's radiant smile instantly froze. With fury, she forcefully pulled me back, exclaiming, Zhu Qingqing, have you lost your mind? What nonsense are you spouting? Su Jiaojiao often raised her voice at me without regard for those around us, and I had previously tolerated it, believing her to be my confidant.
But now,
I ruthlessly shook off her hand, retorting, what nonsense? Isn't it you who praises him every day in front of me, saying how handsome and considerate he is, always buying you milk tea, and possessing an irresistible charm? Su Jiaojiao was momentarily speechless. While it was true that she had said those things, they were merely her tactics to ensnare me into falling for Gao Peng. The real Gao Peng was a heavy drinker, prone to violence when intoxicated, and harbored many peculiar interests. Everyone at our school avoided him. I would rather not be associated with him even if all other men ceased to exist. Jiao Jiao, I never knew you saw so many virtues in me. I thought you despised me. Gao Peng gazed at her with a profound affection. I immediately interjected. You don't understand girls. We often employ a strategy of playing hard to get. When she says she doesn't want something, she actually does. When she claims she isn't interested, she is utterly smitten. Zhu Qingqing, if you keep talking nonsense, I swear I'll tear your mouth off. Su Jiaojiao was on the verge of a breakdown. I subtly stepped back to evade her grasp. Then let me ask you, do you love Gao Peng? Of course not, she replied emphatically. I nodded deliberately and then pushed her toward Gao Peng's embrace, proclaiming, You're just playing coy. You are head over heels for him. With that, I turned to leave, but Su Jiaojiao lunged to grab me, only to be tightly held back by Gao Peng. Behind me, I heard some indescribable sounds and quickened my pace to escape the scene. 3. That night, Su Jiaojiao knocked on my dorm room door with a trembling voice. She insisted she had brought me some items, urging me to open the door, but I could tell her throat was hoarse. Zhu Qingqing, isn't that your best friend? Are you not going to let her in? Came the cold voice of Lu Yan, my only remaining roommate, as the other two had gone home to prepare for exams. I knew this was all due to the misunderstanding from earlier when I had wrongly accused Su Jiaojiao of stealing my cosmetics and had spoken harshly to her. Overcome with guilt, I rummaged through my snack box for a bag of her favorite chips. Yen Yen, I admit I was wrong that day. Su Jiaojiao told me you had taken my things while I wasn't in the dorm, so you believe everything she says? Let me tell you, Su Jiaojiao is not a good person. She has been deceiving you all along, yet you only listened to her. Lu Yan turned her back on me. But I slowly said, I believe you. The girl paused in surprise. I climbed up to her top bunk, embracing her tightly. It's a bit soft, isn't it? If you don't believe me, test it again. Lu Yan screamed. Ah. Zhu Qingqing, are you a pervert? Where are your hands going? I looked at her with tearful eyes. Yen Yen, I acknowledge my past mistakes. I shouldn't have listened to Su Jiaojiao about you. I've severed ties with her, and I promise to make it up to you. Lu Yan was even more astonished. Severed ties. Just then, Su Jiaojiao's voice rang out again from outside. I heard movement inside. Qingqing, are you in there? Come out, I want to take you somewhere with good things for you. Lu Yan could no longer tolerate it. I'll go and scold her away. She attempted to get down, but I quickly held her back. Lu Yan protested. Don't force me. I made a should gesture. Yen Yen. We have an exam tomorrow. She'll leave after a while. Tomorrow, I have a splendid show for you. Early the next morning, I encountered Su Jiaojiao in the corridor of the teaching building. She clearly hadn't slept well the previous night, her eyes shadowed, yet she still exuded a unique charm, as if adorned with a beauty filter. After all, I had unwittingly relinquished much of my fortune to her recently, and numerous boys were casting admiring glances her way. Upon seeing me, Su Jiaojiao approached with reddened eyes. Qingqing, why have you suddenly stopped talking to me? Observing her heart-wrenching demeanor, I could only smirk internally. Indeed. I wanted to ask, why had she transformed into this? We had once pedaled side by side through our high school years, attended extra tutoring together, and enjoyed the Lantern Festival. Back then, she was pure and lovely, and we had worked together to gain admission to our dream institution. But why had she become so terrifying now, as if intent on driving me to despair? It's nothing, I smiled, concealing my underlying resentment. Jiao, I was merely joking. You and Gao Peng do seem well matched. What do I have in common with him? Qingqing, he is yours. I would never compete with you.
Suziadia ferventin insit.
Yet the skin peeking from her sleeves bore glaring scars from cigarettes. She had not had those before yesterday. Her skin had been flawless. Su Jiaojiao, realizing this, hurriedly pulled her sleeves down. By the way, Qingqing, today's exam is for that foolish Professor Zhang from the foreign language department. She is so strict with you. You must perform poorly to have the department reprimand her. Su Jiaojiao grasped my hand earnestly. As the top student in our school, if you fail this course, the department will definitely hold her accountable. I looked at Su Jiaojiao's seemingly innocent face and felt revulsion. I had been foolish. Professor Zhang was strict with me because she cared deeply. That day, after a night out with Su Jiaojiao, I had yawned in her class, leading her to reprimand me. Initially, I thought nothing of it until Su Jiaojiao indignantly spoke ill of Professor Zhang in front of me, making me believe she was targeting me due to my youth and beauty, thus fostering strong resentment toward her. Moreover, Su Jiaojiao had ulterior motives for wanting me to fail. At this juncture, I was destined to encounter the male lead of this world, the dashing and affluent scion, Ji Rushing. According to the original plot, I would garner his attention by excelling in this exam. Su Jiaojiao sought to usurp my place and become the one noticed by the male lead. Qingqing, why are you smirking? Did you hear what I said? I nodded with a smile. Of course, I heard your words loud and clear. The next moment, I caught her inner thoughts. As long as she hears me, she remains that fool, believing everything I say. Just then, a sudden gasp echoed ahead, as if someone had inhaled sharply. Moments later, a slender figure appeared before us. 5. The instant I laid eyes on him, my heart began to race uncontrollably. An instinctual awareness told me that this was the male lead of the world, Ji Rushing. Feeling the overwhelming allure he exuded, my breath quickened as I fought to maintain my composure. Numerous classmates trailed behind him, whispering amongst themselves. Is that the campus heartthrob from the foreign language department, Ji Rushing? He's incredibly handsome. He looks like a celebrity. He recently won a national English speech contest. The TV show Toilet invited him to record an episode, but he declined, citing academic obligations. Oh my god, he just glanced at me. I'm going to faint. How can someone be so good-looking? The boy casually slung a backpack over his shoulder, striding with an air of confidence that seemed to render everything else irrelevant. I found myself obscured by several classmates, covertly observing him from the crowd. Suddenly, he turned his gaze in my direction. My eyes met his unexpectedly, colliding through the throng of students. Ji Rushing halted in his tracks. The classmates ahead seemed to have sensed something, and they all turned in unison, creating a small pathway for us. But in the next moment, G classmate,
Susia dia et galim.
her face alight with excitement as she leaped to his side. You don't remember me? She asked with a beaming smile. Last Thursday, at the library. The collection of Tagore's poems you wanted was unavailable, and I just happened to return it for you. G. Rushing furrowed his brow momentarily, before relaxing into a faint smile. Oh, it's you. Thank you, he replied, his voice melodious and pleasant, eliciting envy from those around us. Suddenly, a realization struck me, and my breath grew heavier. Last Thursday, I had intended to study at the library, but Su Jiaojiao had abruptly dragged me to an internet CAF instead. During a brief restroom break, I returned to find her rummaging through my backpack, holding the very Tagore collection I had prepared to return. Though I was displeased at the time, I chose to overlook it. However, she had later excused herself for a moment, returning in a state of excitement, her ears flushed. I silently observed them.
Susia dia.
In her relentless pursuit of my protagonist's fortune, truly exerted herself. I gazed at them, a cold smile flickering at the corners of my mouth. As I drifted in my thoughts, G. Rushing's gaze inadvertently fell upon me. He took a couple of steps in my direction, seemingly intending to speak with me. Su Jiaojiao, quick as lightning, stepped in front of me. Rushing, the exam is about to start. Let us hurry into the examination room. How amusing. Just a few words in, and she was already so familiar with him. She truly has a knack for making herself at home. Every individual connected to me, she felt the need to claim for herself, isolating me in the process. Yet, with the exam at hand, the presence of men was of little consequence to me. I chuckled softly and entered the classroom first. A few minutes later, the other students trickled into the examination hall. Su Jiaojiao, eager to score a few extra points, stubbornly clung to her books outside the classroom, frantically memorizing vocabulary despite the proctor's insistence to put them down. It was rather amusing. Usually, she would drag me away from studying, yet here she was, fervently engaged. I scoffed and shifted my gaze. Just then, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a tall figure standing against the light. It was G. Rushing. He seemed to have been there for a while, gazing at me with intense depth. Sunlight streaming behind him, rendering his skin nearly translucent. My smile faltered. The boy, too, seemed to snap back to reality. I hastily lowered my head, clutching a scrap of paper as if deep in thought. He cleared his throat softly and took a seat behind me. The scent of fresh pine wafted over. Before long, the examination bell rang. I received the test paper passed to me from the student in front, and upon glancing at the questions, I understood the situation. Indeed, the difficulty had been heightened. This examination was designed to select students for the National English Competition. As I pondered the questions, I passed the remaining papers back. The pristine sheets hovered in the air until my palm brushed against a warm fingertip. Thank you. The youth's voice was soft, yet it resonated within me like a wind chime stirred by a gentle breeze. I nodded stiffly, turning my back to him, but my cheeks unexpectedly flushed. The allure of the campus heartthrob was indeed formidable. During the days spent with Su Jiaojiao, I felt as if my intellect had been diminished. I fervently heeded her every word, captivated by our time together, prioritizing her feelings above all else. My intelligence seemed to dwindle during that period, as I frequently found myself drowsy and yawning, lacking patience for any reading. My performance on several classroom tests suffered drastically, initially shocking my classmates, but soon, rumors began circulating. Zhu Qingqing must have cheated on the English exam to secure the top spot. Now that she's in university, her true colors are showing. Rumors always grow in strength as they spread, and my pride prevented me from clarifying, leading me to gradually distance myself from everyone. Reflecting on it now, the instigator of it all is all too clear. I suppressed the resentment welling within me and focused on the questions. No longer tethered by Su Jiaojiao's influence, I felt a resurgence of intellect. Although many words surpassed my understanding, I could infer their meanings through context. To my delight, I discovered that one particularly challenging reading comprehension passage was an article I had encountered during high school. At that time, it had been well beyond my grasp, yet I persevered, utilizing a dictionary to decipher it. I stifled a triumphant smile and continued answering the questions, noticing that the proctor lingered beside me for a bit longer than usual. However, my success didn't come as easily to my peers, and soon the classroom was filled with a chorus of sighs. I glanced at the clock hanging on the wall and caught sight of Su Jiaojiao in a corner. Her expression darkened as she glared at me. Her eyes were reddened with urgency as she mouthed a question about the 10th answer choice. But I feigned ignorance and turned away. I heard her kick a chair in frustration. With 20 minutes remaining in the exam, I completed the test and leisurely began to review while sipping water. Suddenly, a crumpled piece of paper landed on my desk. It bore Su Jiaojiao's handwriting. It was evident that she was anxious, the paper damp with sweat. It read, "Please send me your answers. And don't forget our agreement." How amusing. Despite her inability to finish the exam, she still sought to pull me down with her. I immediately raised my hand to signal the proctor. To avoid disrupting my classmates, I remained silent and simply handed the note to the teacher. Su Jiaojiao inhaled sharply in fear. Surprisingly, the proctor merely took the note and made no further move. At that moment, I heard Su Jiaojiao's inner thoughts. That was close. I used nearly all my points to ensure the proctor wouldn't pursue this matter. Zhu Qingqing. I could just kill you right now. I frowned. The proctor's eyes appeared much darker than usual, as if he were a marionette moving numbly toward the window. He tore the paper into shreds and scattered them outside. I watched in silence as the flakes of paper danced away on the wind, just like my yearning for adherence to rules. Perhaps in Su Jiaojiao's eyes, I, as the world's heroine, was entitled to privileges that others did not enjoy. But those were the fruits of my years of labor, even spending New Year's Eve studying while others reveled. Su Jiaojiao would never comprehend this. She merely felt aggrieved, unwilling to accept, and was prepared to employ any means to destroy me, as if that would somehow elevate her own standing. As I submitted my paper, I intentionally altered one multiple-choice question to include multiple answers. This deliberate mistake was not for Su Jiaojiao's sake, rather. I was simply not in the mood to attract the attention of the world's hero. Matters of fate could wait for another time. With that thought in mind, I turned in my paper early. However, as I stood to leave, I caught a glimpse of the boy behind me. He was actually asleep, his head resting on his arm, breathing steadily as if he had been asleep for some time. Goodness. This was a formal examination. What would the surrounding students think? Perhaps my movement had roused him. He rubbed his eyes and lifted his head, smiling at me. I felt as though I was about to hear him ask, "What time is it?" My mind went blank, and I hastily exited the examination room. Yet the boy regained his composure, submitted his paper, and followed me out. We were the only two to submit early, and the corridor was devoid of anyone else. To avoid disturbing the remaining students, I slowed my pace as I made my way down the hallway, acutely aware of a strong gaze on my back, causing me to falter. As I reached the corner, he finally called out to me, "My name is Ji Rushing from the School of Foreign Languages." I turned in response and beheld a boy leaning against the window, his eyes as clear as water. This was the moment of our first acquaintance, a scene I could vividly recall even after many years. A gentle breeze wafted in through the open window, playfully tousling the hair of youthful souls. I pursed my lips and uttered a soft HM. Just as I was about to introduce myself, the bell signaling the end of the exam rang out abruptly. A chorus of disgruntled voices erupted from my classmates as they hurriedly vacated the classroom. I found myself several paces away from Ji Rushing, swept further apart by the throng. I could only discern the shape of his lips moving, but his words eluded my ears. He seemed to wish to approach me, yet at that moment, Su Jiaojiao stepped in to obstruct him. Perhaps having exhausted her points, she appeared rather lackluster, with few passing glances cast her way. She murmured something to Ji Rushing, causing an immediate shift in his expression. Reminded of the upcoming exam in the afternoon, I turned to leave. The midterm examination soon passed. This particular class was English, and many in the room, spurred on by Su Jiaojiao, believed I was doomed. I can't wait to see how disgraceful Zhu Qingqing's results will be. That swindler who tried to change her fate through cheating, one remarked. The teachers will surely be astounded. What a bizarre occurrence in the annals of our school. Another chimed in. What if her results were to leak online? Would Zhu Qingqing still have the audacity to remain in school? Came another voice. Ha ha ha, if I were her, I'd just leave right now. I sat in silence, listening to their snide remarks. Suddenly, the foreign language teacher entered the classroom, her demeanor strikingly ominous. She strode towards me, her breath trembling. Zhu Qingqing, how did you answer the questions? A throng of classmates quickly surrounded us. In the next moment, Teacher Zhang burst into laughter. Qingqing, you did exceptionally well. The expressions of those who had been poised to mock froze in disbelief. Su Jiaojiao, straining to see, turned pale. We had never witnessed Teacher Zhang so jubilant. Her rotund figure shook with mirth as she patted my shoulder, exclaiming, "Well done, Qingqing." You are the only student in the entire province to achieve a perfect score. You even discerned that one multiple-choice question was actually meant to be multiple answers. Your exam paper has been printed in numerous copies by the teaching research group. You performed admirably, especially in the translation section. I'm envious. We unanimously believe you and G. Rushing should represent our school in the national competition. We eagerly await your success. I was astonished to learn that the question I had intentionally answered incorrectly was indeed a multiple-choice question. As I absorbed this, the surrounding classmates began to grasp the situation. Some directed discontented glances at Su Jiao Jiao, muttering, "What a joke. The academic prodigy is simply a prodigy." It seems someone's envious. Even her best friend is jealous. Thinking she's acting nobly. How ridiculous. Is it amusing to slander others? Some people's hearts are truly malicious. Not just malicious. I wonder if she didn't put on makeup today. She looks quite unflattering. Su Jiao Jiao immediately reacted, hastily retrieving a small mirror from her desk to check her reflection. Having not gained points from me for several consecutive days, she had instead depleted her own points in an effort to avoid being discovered for cheating. Now she appeared unwell. Her features remained the same, yet she seemed both bloated and grotesque. After teacher Zhang departed, Luyan cast a derisive glance at Su Jiao Jiao and remarked, "Ah, life isn't a fairy tale. The ugly duckling never becomes a swan. Jealousy will only mar her beauty." She suddenly raised her voice. "By the way, I saw someone passing notes to our Qingqing during the exam, which the proctor confiscated and tore up. Can anyone guess who that was?" The classmates erupted in a clamor, eager to uncover the identity of the culprit. However, without surveillance in the classroom, they could only speculate. Su Jiao Jiao sat rigidly, feigning earnestness in her studies, though her slightly trembling shoulders betrayed her inner turmoil. Once, many had remarked how much we resembled each other as best friends, but now, no one even wished to glance at her again. This cannot continue. I heard Su Jiao Jiao's thoughts. I must find a way to earn points. Competing in the national English competition? I will ensure she has no chance of returning that day. The incident regarding the exam almost tore our friendship apart. After the results were released, it was Su Jiao Jiao who found herself ostracized by the entire department. She ceased to pretend to be cheerful, gradually enveloping herself in darkness. As one's appearance reflects the heart, her visage grew increasingly unappealing, marred by blemishes that had never before graced her features. The boys who had once fawned over her scattered like leaves in the wind. Yet surprisingly, the only one who remained steadfast was a boy named Gao Prung, a notorious troublemaker. On the day we departed for Beijing to participate in the competition, G. Rushing and I set off before dawn. It was my first glimpse of the campus at 4 a.m, the air thick with lingering humidity. I rubbed my sleepy eyes, and G. Rushing kindly took charge of our luggage. A chilling breeze swept through, and he removed his jacket, draping it over my shoulders. I hesitated momentarily, feeling perhaps it was too forward, but he smiled, dissuading my concerns. "It was only natural for you to participate in the competition. Zhu Qingqing. I wish to be your sword, to fight alongside you and achieve victory." Beneath the quiet trees, my heart skipped a beat. I tilted my face to look at him. The contours of his youthful face were strikingly clear in that moment, his smile revealing the hint of dimples at the corners of his mouth. However, in an awkward twist of fate, my stomach growled audibly at that very moment. I thought, how mortifying. G. Rushing did not mock me. Instead, he patted his own stomach and said, "I apologize for forgetting to prepare breakfast. I'm hungry too. Please wait here for a moment." With that, he dashed towards the convenience store just outside the school, 2 suitcases in tow. As he ran, he called back to me, "Stay right here. I'll be back in a jiffy." A profound sense of happiness welled up within me. This was the charming boy from the foreign languages department. How astonishing it would be if others knew he was personally fetching me breakfast. Just as my heart fluttered with excitement, 2 unkind voices drifted to my ears from behind me. "That's definitely her. It's her." The last 2 words were spat out as though through clenched teeth. It was Su Jiao Jiao. I turned to find her looking aged after just 2 days apart. Yet, Gao Peng seemed oblivious, maintaining his usual cheerful demeanor as he gazed at her. Over the past few days, I had heard numerous rumors about them. It seemed Su Jiao Jiao and Gao Peng were living together and had moved out of the school. The counselor had even spoken to her. But her attitude was shockingly hostile, a stark contrast to her previous gentle demeanor. Gao Peng, as if he would perish without smoking, lit another cigarette and approached me, exhaling clouds of smoke. "So you're the one who has been bullying my girlfriend? Little girl, you ought to consider the consequences of your actions." I stepped back in distaste, calmly responding, Gao Peng, if you believe I have bullied Su Jiao Jiao, you should first ask our classmates. I have never bullied her. Gao Peng's expression darkened. Jiao Jiao told me everything. You've been obstructing us, constantly stirring trouble between us. If it weren't for you, Jiao Jiao and I would have been together long ago. He uttered a profane exclamation. Damn it. Just thinking about this makes me want to kill you, you wretched creature. I found myself at a loss for words, ready to flee. This infatuated fool, so impervious to reason, would never believe me no matter how fervently I pleaded. Those two were the true couple. Subsequently, we engaged in a game of cat and mouse. I sprinted with all my might, shouting that there was a fire. Yet, this ploy failed to attract the attention of passers-by and instead drew in Ji Rushing. I discerned that he did not seem like one capable of fighting. So I contemplated dragging him along in my escape, but he preemptively seized me, positioning me behind him. What is happening? He inquired, tilting his head. Gao Peng, in a fit of rage, retorted, step aside. Man, I'm going to teach her a lesson today. She has been stirring trouble between my girlfriend and me from behind. Ji Rushing narrowed his eyes slightly, glancing at Su Jiaojiao hidden behind Gao Peng, instantly grasping the entirety of the situation. I heard the young man emit a soft chuckle. Who is your girlfriend? He drawled languidly, a look of feigned grievance crossing his face. Jiao Jiao, didn't you just say you only liked me? Gao Peng's eyes widened in disbelief. He whirled around to face Su Jiaojiao. Terrified, she jumped forward to explain, but Ji Rushing decisively interjected. Not long ago, during the midterm exams, Su Jiaojiao told me she was my best friend from childhood, and she has been searching for me all these years. He pretended to search his phone. Oh, she even added me as a friend. I've been too busy to check WeChat lately, but let me find our chat history. Su Jiaojiao. Gao Peng was utterly infuriated, raising his arm, but his hand trembled, veins bulging, refusing to fall. Ultimately, he gritted his teeth and delivered a sharp slap to his own face. I didn't He slandering me, trying to sow discord. Su Jiaojiao was still crying, struggling like a trapped beast, but Gao Peng's gaze had turned completely indifferent. Su Jiaojiao, when I was drunk and collapsed by the roadside, you bought me a juice. From that moment on, I liked you. I would pour my heart out for you, willing to give you my life, yet you treated me like a spare tire. I accept that. Who told me I wasn't good enough because of my poor grades? But I'm not foolish. I want to be a fool for you to toy with. Gao Peng shot Ji Rushing a look of profound intelligence. Look at him, then look at me. He is so handsome. How could you possibly like someone like me? Su Jiaojiao, I truly don't like you anymore. I can't afford to like you. Whoever wants to wear the green hat can wear it. I'm leaving. With that, he stormed off, leaving Su Jiaojiao to deflate like a punctured balloon. I heard a mechanical voice resonate within her. System detecting. Host has lost the last person who liked you. The mission to darken the supporting character has utterly failed. Unbinding. 321. Unbinding complete. With the disappearance of the mechanical voice, I also completely lost the ability to hear Su Jiaojiao's voice. Suddenly, a voice echoed from deep within me. Dear girl, mind reading is the best gift your mother could give you. I hope you and my son are well.
Susia.
In that moment, seemed to be drained of all her strength. She no longer resembled her former self, appearing as despondent as an old woman. In high school, she had been vibrant and the most affable girl around. She murmured in a sob, No, it shouldn't be like this. It shouldn't be like this. Why do I always end up with nothing? Why? Suddenly, she mustered her strength and shouted at me, Zhu Qingqing, it's all your fault, you wretched being. No matter how hard I work, I'm always one rank behind you in exams. Everyone favors you. The boys who approach me always want to WeChat. Even the one I like. Why am I forever chasing after you, only to be overshadowed by you? Zhu Qingqing, why don't you just die? Why must you always block my path in life? Ji Rushing regarded her coldly, then spoke. People have varying degrees of talent, yet in pursuing her, you have surpassed countless others. Qingqing scores first, you second. That is a height many can only dream of reaching. No, I don't want that. Su Jiaojiao was on the verge of collapse. I don't want to live my life in her shadow. I watched her quietly, and after a moment, I softly said, Jiaojiao, you are not living in my shadow. You had many opportunities. The original you was kind and innocent, always smiling, eager to help others. Many classmates spoke behind your back, saying you were beautiful. It's your sensitivity that led you to believe everyone favored me, but that is simply not true. Not long ago, I encountered the boy we both liked in high school. He himself said he had written you a love letter, which the teacher confiscated. Su Jiaojia's eyes widened. I smiled and added, "Don't believe me? I added him on WeChat that day, and he asked how you were doing, wanting to have a meal with old classmates. I couldn't bring myself to tell him that in high school, you mistakenly thought his love letter was for me and reported him to the teacher." Su Jiaojiao staggered a few steps before suddenly collapsing to the ground. "You're lying. You're just lying to me," she screamed, covering her ears as tears streamed down her face. In the end, all she could do was repeatedly murmur, "You're lying. You must be lying to me. I did nothing wrong." Seeing her in such a state, Ji rushing and I chose to leave. The once clear and bright girl had ultimately been destroyed by her own jealousy. I boarded a flight from Shanghai to Beijing with Ji rushing. Usually, I would feel drowsy on planes, but this time, I remained awake. Before boarding, the class group chat erupted with the news. Su Jiaojiao had dropped out. On the flight, two girls in high school uniforms walked hand in hand to the restroom. One was somewhat shy, while the more outgoing one protected her from the front. I suddenly recalled our past selves. With ponytails and in uniforms, we would quiz each other on vocabulary while having breakfast. At times, when I couldn't answer, Su Jiaojiao would chuckle and pinch my nose, patiently teaching me her mnemonic methods. During class, if I daydreamed and got called out by the teacher, while everyone else watched in amusement, she would secretly pass me a note with the answer. Although we would both end up standing in the back of the classroom as punishment, she never complained, merely smiling and saying, "See, don't we resemble the good friends in novels, weathering storms together?" Back then, everyone joked that we were inseparable like conjoined twins. They even remarked that we had started to resemble each other more, not sisters by blood but closer than sisters. Jiao, she had once been such a gentle person. I could not fathom why, in an instant, a person could change so dramatically. I closed my eyes tightly, suppressing the bitterness within. "Do you need a shoulder to lean on?" I donned my undergarments early on, while some mischievous boys would often attempt to unfasten my bra. In those moments, I would often retreat to a secluded spot to weep alone, until a gentle voice would inquire, "Do you need a shoulder to lean on?" As time progressed, whenever I found myself cornered by those unruly boys, a stout little fellow would descend from the heavens, recklessly placing himself in front of me. Engaging in a tussle with them, typically languid and slow, he transformed into a fierce little wolf when it came to defending me, firmly declaring, "No one is allowed to bully her. She is my good friend." However, that little stout boy's father eventually struck it rich in business, and they relocated to Shanghai. Since then, I have not crossed paths with him again. Ji rushing, did we know each other in our childhood? He chuckled softly. "Yes. Back then you loved to adorn your hair with little clips, and who would have thought you'd still do so now? Zhu Qingqing, I have finally found you." This national-level English competition concluded splendidly, with Ji rushing securing first place, while I trailed him by a mere point. After all, it is only natural that I fell short, as this competition featured none of the articles I had previously studied. On the day the results were announced, we were diligently studying in the classroom. Teacher Zhang's excited voice resonated throughout the corridor. She proclaimed us the best class she had ever taught. With both of you, I could retire contentedly. Our classmates genuinely congratulated us. Even on the campus forum's best couple poll, our names surpassed many former popular couples to claim the top spot. I found this amusing, as we had yet to officially become a couple. That evening, we hosted a barbecue party by the riverside, accompanied by a myriad of fireworks. As the night wore on, we finally retreated to our respective tents to sleep, having agreed to embark on a mountain hike together the following day. The next morning, after washing up and perusing the hiking route, I suddenly spotted someone standing not far away. It was Gao Peng. Startled, I turned to flee, but the boy swiftly intercepted me, raising his hands in a gesture of urgency. "Don't scream. I mean no harm. I just wanted to say something to you." It was then that I noticed Gao Peng had changed into a crisp white shirt, his hair dyed black and cut short. In this light, his features appeared quite handsome. Nevertheless, I took a few steps back, remaining cautious. What a predicament. He scratched his head, suddenly smiling ruefully. "I've pondered this for several days, and I've decided to stay by Su Jiaojiao's side. She has fallen ill. It's not a trivial matter, but it is not insignificant either, and it will accompany her for life." I was taken aback, staring at him in disbelief, almost blurting out, "When did this happen?" "It was just recently diagnosed, but Jiao seemed to have sensed it earlier. She asked me to convey a message to you, saying she is very sorry for the hurt she has caused you." The morning sunlight filtered through the trees, and the boy stood there, his smile warm and his gaze gentle. I have also withdrawn from school to take her back to my hometown. Her mental state has been quite poor. Only I can be there for her. It may sound unbelievable, but who would have thought that during that year, when I was drunk and hungover on the street, she was the first to discover me and offered me a glass of juice? I sobered up, and my confused life began to clarify. I fell silent as the boy turned to leave, but my unease compelled me to call after him. Summoning my courage, I said, "I heard you're quite the creep. You better treat her well. I've seen the cigarette burns on her body from you, and when she returned from you, her voice was hoarse." "Creep? I used to be a good kid, all right." He raised both hands, a look of horror on his face. "By all that is holy. Those burns were from her trying to smoke, and I stopped her. They were accidentally left during our struggle. I swear I have never laid a finger on her. She often cries and throws tantrums in the dead of night, and I can hardly bear it." That notorious troublemaker from the vocational school had finally donned a clean shirt and cut his hair short and dyed it black. All of this stemmed from the fact that during his darkest moments of self-loathing, a girl had stepped forward, disregarding the gazes of others, and offered him a glass of juice to sober him up. That night, amidst the chorus of my classmates' cheers, G. Rushing confessed his feelings for me. Flowers, cake, a necklace. His declaration felt like a natural progression, and I accepted. My classmates nearly lost their minds, declaring we were a perfect match and that we should have been together long ago. In the embrace of that moment, he leaned in to whisper in my ear, "No matter when, G. Rushing will always fall in love with Zhu Qingqing the moment he meets her." I stared at him in astonishment, realizing he was playfully winking at me. No one can obstruct this. It is a gift of fate. Epilogue 1. The receipt of this national award garnered the attention of numerous talent agencies. Among them, a well-known domestic entertainment company extended an olive branch to the couple. However, they declined all offers. The two began creating content online, sharing methods and techniques for learning English. Over 4 to 5 months, with their academic prowess and striking looks, they amassed nearly 1 million followers. The money they earned was divided into 3 parts: one portion for children left behind in mountainous regions, another for those suffering from illnesses without the means for treatment, and the final portion dedicated to supporting the mental health of adolescents. Perhaps, often, we encounter those who shine brilliantly, radiating a captivating glow. These individuals, wherever they go, are the most dazzling presence, making us feel overshadowed in their light. Yet, believe that everyone has their season to bloom, and every flower possesses its unique beauty. You may feel that your light is obscured by others, but in places unknown to you, many quietly cherish you. In their hearts, you are the most beautiful existence in the world. We all have the potential to be the leading lady in our own lives. 2. Interview with the campus forum couple. First question: what do you each like about the other? G. Rushing raised a finger. Her proficiency in English, extensive knowledge, willingness to help, beauty, kindness, intelligence, courage, essentially everything about her. Zhu Qingqing replied, "He's handsome." G. Rushing glanced at Zhu Qingqing. Second question: when did you both start liking each other? G. Rushing: probably the first time we met after growing up. She was hiding in the crowd, but I spotted her immediately. Only with someone you truly like can you do that. Zhu Qingqing, likewise. Because he's handsome. G. Rushing looked at Zhu Qingqing again. Final question: why did you wait to confess your feelings? G. Rushing: it was my first crush, and I was a bit nervous, afraid she would reject me. Zhu Qingqing: he is handsome, and I was mesmerized. G. Rushing turned to look at Zhu Qingqing, remaining motionless. The host awkwardly chuckled. I didn't expect our goddess Qingqing to be so straightforward. Indeed, beauty is eternal, while G, the god, remains reserved. However, in the next moment, G. Rushing fixed his gaze on Zhu Qingqing and stated emphatically, "I want to kiss you."
Huh.
The girl nearly leaped up. The boy nodded earnestly, repeating, "Yes, I want to kiss you. Right now?"
Right now.
The host and crew discreetly exited. The following portions are indescribable. Sweet love, sweet you.
The end.
Thank you for listening. We shall meet in the next story.